I'm back at the that scary car wash. Top Gear car wash. Washing my Jeep for the first time because it's pretty dirty, especially underneath after that Sunday, I think, Sunday trip to public land. But yeah, this is touchless. They do have those brushes, but you know, when you pay on the screen, it gives you a choice, either touchless or brush. And by the way, thanks to people that suggested this, so now I'm trying. I don't know why I was resisting this. I actually noticed it before when I hooked up the cable just to charge my iPhone. All of a sudden I see this, right? I see CarPlay, and it says, would you like to click CarPlay? And so now I was able to find my my Google Maps. And the plan today is to visit the exhaust shop. I talked to them yesterday, just asking for their opinion, see if anything can be done with to improve the exhaust on this Jeep. By the way, let's see how they washed it. So I chose extra $2 to clean the wheels better. They do look nice. Like, these parts were pretty dirty. See, there's still a little bit of dirt, of course, there, because I was in a very bad area. But all in all, looks pretty good. Yeah, this is not a show car. And so what I want the exhaust shop to see is, I want to show them this, right? So that's single pipe squashed like that, and then it's side entrance, huge muffler, and then right from the muffler there's one exit outlet and the other one, and these are 2.5 inches. Over there I think that's like 2 inches. And then when I ask them if they can, you know, keep the same dual exhaust, you know, so to speak. Of course, it's not a real dual exhaust, but just keep the 2 outlets, because I have these cutouts in the bumper, so I want to have 2 outlets, right? But maybe just use a single muffler. I don't know, because I can get like a Super 10 Flowmaster with single inlet and 2 outlets. But again, it depends on, because of that side inlet, you know, how the pipe is goes from the engine, and because of that squash, I don't know if they can maybe fix that as well. Probably a single muffler actually would work better, because what I had in mind was something like this. That's what I did on a Mazda. Sorry for the crude drawing, but that's how on the Mazda 3, it was very similar setup. Huge muffler in the back, single pipe in, 2 pipes out. But so we put a Y in here, and we put the Spintech 9000 on each, you know. But of course it's expensive, you know, because that's Spintech is basically $100 US. So $100, that's like 130 Canadian, so that's 260 plus tax plus shipping, plus they will charge duties because it will be coming from US, so that's like 350 Canadian easy. And plus the work, I think last time they charged me like 350 300, because, you know, it's not a simple exchange, right? So it's like $700 you have to pay for everything. So I'm not ready yet to do this, but I just want to drive over there, since it's, you know, it's a brand new car. I enjoy driving it, might as well, you know, use it while it's new. But that place is downtown, so it's about 30 clicks from here. But now I'm gonna make a quick stop at Shoppers Drug Mart. Needs to get some vitamins and some minerals. I'm out of B1. That B1 helps me helps the eyesight for some reason. In my case, like, never saw this in any literature, but only saw it once. It's on some obscure website saying that B1 is somehow connected to eyesight, and so I've been taking it, and I noticed right away that if I don't take it, my eyesight goes down. Like now, I ran out of it like 2 weeks ago. I don't know, even a friend of mine, he was asking me about this. He's wearing glasses, and he's like 50, so he's like 11 years younger than me, and he's been wearing glasses all the time. I said, why don't you try this? I said, I don't guarantee it, but I said it might be just person specific, but I said maybe I just have some weird deficiency. I don't know. I eat meat, because B1, that's meat, right? I eat meat, I eat fish, you know, shrimp, stuff like that. So I don't know why I need B1, but that's the case. If I don't take it, I start seeing worse, you know. Anyway, oh, and by the way, I'm trying a new grip. So basically, this is the grip I bought. I don't know if you guys can see over there, but this is a very sturdy metal, all metal grip I bought for my you know, visits to the gun club. So this thing on the top, it had that kind of like a Y. That's where you rest, you know, the Mossberg or Ruger. But I find it's too light. It's heavy, but it's still for the let's say Mossberg, it's too light. It keeps jumping, right? And so I took that Y, I put it on a monopod that I use with my camera, and I used it last time during this visit to the public land. Didn't work very well either. Too light, because that carbon fiber monopod. So now I think I'm gonna have a very sturdy real tripod that I can connect that Y to. And tripod is like metal, very thick legs, and it's 3 legs, right? So I want to try that one. I think that one would be better with especially with the Mossberg, because that kicks pretty good, you know. But this one, I just took this grip and I attached the connector for the GoPro, and it works, and I can put it down, you know, because it's a tripod, right? So I can put it down like this, open it, right, change the angle, you know. So it's a very, like, I love these grips that are also tripods, you know. It's very handy. Just went into this Shoppers Drug Mart, and there's a Tim Hortons across the road. So I checked my lottery tickets. Man, it's getting hot. And found the B1. See? Not easy. Not every pharmacy has it. Very good. So took 2 down and checked the lottery. I won 20 bucks, you know. I think the ticket was 5. I paid $5 for this Lotto Max, what it's called here in Canada. It's kind of like that crazy big lottery in the States, except this one, somebody just won 70 million and they lost the ticket. And there was a report in the media saying that the 70 million went unclaimed for a year, and there was like a few days left, and they said if nobody claims it within the next few days, they're gonna put it back in the drawer, you know. So probably somebody bought a ticket, put it in the jeans somewhere, washed the jeans, destroyed the ticket. And they said 1,500 people called in pretending to be the winner, and then these guys were asking them questions, and the main question is where and when did you buy the ticket? You have to tell them exactly where you bought it. And so now when I buy a ticket, just in case, I always ask for the receipt, and I keep the receipt, you know, so that if I win something big, I have proof of purchase. And so I won 20 bucks out of 5. So basically my B1 was free, my coffee was free, and I got a protein bar. So anyway, so let's go to that exhaust shop and see what the experts say. Is it worth it? You know, it's a brand new car. I don't want to put it under the knife, especially when it's gonna cost like $700-800 bucks. But actually, if it's one muffler, it would be way cheaper. if I can put something like Flowmaster 44 or Super 40, but those are big, so it's gonna be quiet but still louder than this. By the way, one weird thing I noticed in this car that I never saw before is this. There's no accessories, you know. There's only like dead and start. Basically, if you push it like this, you see like run, right? There's nothing in the middle, so it just starts the thing, right? But there's no accessories. So basically, if I need to open the windows, I have to put it into run, because there's no middle position. So only stop and run. See, start. Actually, over here it even says engine start, stop. So no middle part, you know. Well, I'm in close to downtown somewhere. Visited the muffler shop. More about it in a second. And then I punch in Starbucks, and it brought me here with hardly any parking, because it's some kind of a clinic in here, dental, like super busy. I don't like it. I think I didn't even go inside. I think I'm gonna leave. And also what happened on the way, it's funny, is that yeah, I was using Google Maps via CarPlay on my Uconnect display here, and as I was leaving that Shoppers Drug Mart, I started hearing some funny sounds, you know, like you know, like you try to increase the volume and there was some kind of like basically short, you know. And so I pushed this button and I turned off the display, and then I couldn't turn it back, you know. So I disconnected the cable from my phone. But I think this happened because I just went through a car wash, right? Probably water got in there somewhere. But I'm telling you, like I never liked this CarPlay. Like I thought I would try it, and right away, so my display went black, and I was driving towards the muffler place here. It's like, you know, like 20 minutes, and I was trying to turn it on. It would not turn on, but then after I was leaving the muffler place, I clicked the button and I see the Jeep logo, it turned on. So I'm thinking it's just water, probably somewhere got, because that you saw that car wash, like the pressure they're using, it's crazy, you know. And so probably might have went, I think my fuses are on this side. I think it was something to do with that, with the car wash, because I never had this before, you know. It's like a 1-week-old car. But anyway, so what happened there, I pulled in, the guy is very friendly, so, and I called him yesterday. I said, you guys do performance exhaust? Because, you know, not everybody does it. Most people just, most places they say, yeah, you know, if you, let's say your muffler has a hole and you need a new muffler, they'll just put the same muffler in the same place using the same brackets, right? But I wanted to modify mine, right? And so the guy says, yeah, bring your car and we'll take a look. And so I parked in there, went inside, very nice gentleman in the front. He came with me, and I said, I just want to make it a bit louder. I said, I just traded in a Hellcat, and that one was, you know, super nice sound, even with stock mufflers. And the first thing he asked me, he says, what kind of engine is in this? I said, 2-liter turbo. Oh, and he says, it's not gonna be loud. I'm like, what? He says, no, it's because turbo engines are quiet by default. But I said I had a supercharged, pretty much same technology, right? Supercharged car, and he says, no, that's different, right? Because supercharger, it has a belt. It has nothing to do with actual exhaust. The exhaust goes free into the mufflers, right? But turbo basically takes all your exhaust, right? Man, I'm telling you, this is crazy. I have to get out of here. And what's interesting is that there's no exit over there. That's just drive through, you know, to exit, and there's a curb on my right, so I cannot turn sharply or I will ruin my wheels. So I have to go like this, and now this idiot parked in here. Office movers. Oh wow, so they're gonna be here for a long time. Interesting. I never like this, you know, these downtown places, so crazy. But anyway, so this guy says it's not gonna help you. He says if I were you, if you want it louder, I would just straight pipe it. He says bring it in, we'll put like a couple of, we'll put like a Y and just a pipe, and you'll have your 2 outlets but no muffler. And I said, will it be louder? He says just a little bit. So basically, what's the point? And actually I never was a fan of removing mufflers, because I think I tried it before. I know, because you know there's a pulse, right? There's a, you need a little bit of pressure. And I did a lot of research on this. You know, I'm a big muffler fan, you know, and always like to modify exhaust. And I remember when I was doing research on this, like which one is better, you know, Flowmaster, Spintech, all these other ones. And you know, they have this what is called Baja, some kind of a race in the desert on trucks. It's like you know, those like Raptors and stuff like that, right? And these guys, they tested, like this particular team, there was a story about this, they tested all kinds of setups, but you know, all kinds of air intakes, all kinds of mufflers. At one point they removed the mufflers and they went with the same straight pipe, you know, just thinking it will, you know, because they were looking for any way to just even slightly improve horsepower, performance, you know, because it's a race, right? And I still remember that's what they found is that their performance actually dropped when they removed the muffler, right? Because think about it, like muffler costs money, right? This car is mass produced, this Jeep is mass produced, right? So they try everything to reduce the cost so they can make more money. So if no muffler was a good idea, these guys would not mess with it. They would just look at this. See, nowhere to park for a poor guy. Ah, he's waiting. Somebody's leaving over there. So if the muffler was not needed, what I'm trying to say, they would not put it in, you know. So I'm a big believer that, you know, it's a pulse, right? The gases, because cylinders, they don't work all at once, right? So there's a constant, you know, pulse, and so the muffler helps with this. And I remember, yeah, when I was trying all kinds of setups on the Challenger, when I had the Challenger 392, after I removed the factory mufflers, and the worst thing I did, I changed the placing. I changed where the new mufflers were placed, and believe it or not, I lost torque, and that thing was like 485 horsepower. And all subsequent mods, I was basically just trying to get back. Yeah, the sound improved, like the sound was great, the sound became nice, but what's the point of the sound if you lost performance, you know? And so that's why basically I'm not gonna do anything for now. I'll just wait till probably later this year. K&N will come up with a filter, like that thing is good, so I'll just change the panel filter. Now look at this, like these guys, because of these guys. Well, this one is waiting. He's waiting for this. Yeah, I better get out of here. Like, I don't like it. And that guy parked, I don't know, 1 foot away from that SUV over there, this huge truck. But maybe I'll wait till the truck leaves, because then it'll be easier. Because yeah, now it's a mess over here. Everybody's looking for parking. We have a lineup. So basically, yeah, so exhaust not worth it, because like I said, cutting, I don't like it. I want a muffler. I just wanted to have a performance muffler, but the guy says it's not gonna help you. But maybe actually, you know what, yeah, it's not gonna be louder, but I think like a smaller muffler would improve performance, you know. Except the problem is that this muffler is at the very back, and I know they use all kinds of formulas and science, you know, to determine where to position the muffler, because that's related to your pulse of your exhaust gases, right? And so if I remove that muffler and let's say I put a smaller Flowmaster closer here, it'll affect the engine performance, you know. So basically it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I'm just gonna keep it like this. It's a quiet car. It's relaxing, very relaxing. You can go on a long drive. I like it. Every day I see U-Haul trucks. U-Haul trucks at my building, because I think, I don't know what the percentage is, but there's still quite a few rentals in there, right? So
continue on 128th Avenue Northeast for 1.5 kilometers.
So they're slowly converting the building from a rental place to a condo, right? Which is like interesting. But over here there's everywhere signs, we are renting now, renting now. So most of these are like nice looking buildings, but they're rentals. And so people are moving out because I'm guessing the owner slowly increases the prices, you know, because somebody told me like the guy Steven, the sales guy from East Side Dodge, he used to live in my building, you know, in the same building, but like on the top floor. And we were talking about this, you know, when he was taking a copy of my license. When I was first met him, I was trading in that Charger, right, for the Hellcat. And he took a copy of my license and he says, wait.
500 meters, use the left 2 lanes to turn left onto Métis Trail Northeast.
He saw the address. He says, this is where I live as well. I said, are you kidding me? Like, what are the chances, you know? And so yeah, people are moving out. So I think this is by far, I made a lot of stupid financial decisions in my life.
Use the left 2 lanes to turn left onto Métis Trail Northeast.
But I would not change anything because it's all for fun. Otherwise life is too boring. Because some people are putting comments in there, right? Like, oh man, he had so many cars, so many vehicles, but you cannot take it with you. Like, what's the point? Live a boring life, drive one 20-year-old truck with holes in the frame, in the fenders. Like, I see those. Yeah, so they buy a truck and then they drive it into the ground until it literally, you know, falls apart. That's not how we roll. I like new cars. I like to enjoy life. So it's basically your choice, right? But funny enough, I was just talking to a friend of mine who's a broker.
Continue on Métis Trail Northeast for 1 kilometer.
She's an independent broker, and she's always traveling. Like, somehow she makes money. I don't know how she does it, but she's always somewhere. So I was texting her yesterday. She's married and we're just friends, you know. So I asked her, hey, where are you now? She says, Columbia. I forgot the name of the town. Something like like just
600 meters, turn right onto Country Hills Boulevard Northeast.
basically northern part of Columbia, just south of Panama border, you know. And she says they love it there. I said, how much is a rental? And I said, do you have your own place or are you renting? And she said,
right onto Country Hills Boulevard Northeast.
she said, we are renting. She says, I said, how much is a small apartment, let's say for one guy like me? And she says, depending on the
Continue on Country Hills Boulevard Northeast for 800 meters.
depending on the area, she says, can be from $700 to $800 US a month. And she says the area plays a big part because, of course, you know, it's Colombia, it's a poor country, so not all areas are created equal. But she says we love it here. Like, I think she went there like in December, so she spent the entire winter over there. And I said, what about the language? Do you need to know Spanish? She says, well, not necessarily, but if you don't speak at least basic Spanish, she says, you will get gringo prices, as she said. Basically, you go to a store, instead of like $5, they charge you 10 because they think you're stupid, you don't understand. Or like restaurant, you know, they do the same thing with the tourists in like Costa Rica. When I wanted to go to Costa Rica to shoot some wildlife, right? And that's what they're doing the same stuff over there. Like they see you don't speak Spanish, they would add like another item. You go to a restaurant and let's say you had I don't know, a steak and some coffee, and then everything is in Spanish, and prices of course are in the local currency, and they will add like, I don't know, a pie, a pizza, you know, and you're stupid, you don't understand. Like, why is it was supposed to be $15, now it's like $45, right? And so she says, but even Google Translate, she says, helps a lot. So she just knows some basic words, you know, like, hey, can I have some water? I don't know, can I have some coffee? Probably. Or you can just point at the menu, like what I do in Quebec. When I go to Quebec, of course I don't speak French. She says, English menu, Francois. Say, okay, give me English language menu. And I look for pictures. Anything with a picture, say, okay, I want this. No fromage, no cheese. I don't know, how do you say no? Maybe, yeah. Kein, what's the German? I forget. Okay, anyway, where are we? So basically where we're going now is, I saw a spot, but yeah, time now of course it's almost noon, like 11 o'clock. Now it's not a good time for photography, but I just want to check out this view, see maybe if I can come back during sunrise or sunset when the air is more clear. But basically, yeah, this lady, so she lives in Colombia, and I asked her, so you own a place? She says, no, we're renting. And I know that she's from BC, like she's originally from Russia, but then when they came to Canada, they settled down in British Columbia. And I said, did you sell your place in BC? And she says, we never had a place in BC. She says, we were renting. So I'm mentioning all this because I think me buying this condo, especially with such a huge down payment, what did I pay, like 35 grand Canadian? So I have a lot of value in this apartment, you know. And so when the prices are gonna go up, you see, like this is what I wanted. But how do you get there? Like from the hill, there was a hill in there, and you can see the downtown like this way, and now you cannot see them. Like the air is I don't know, it's too hazy. But in the morning and in the evening you can see mountains in the distance, and this is like the best, I would say, the best angle to, you know, to shoot a picture of Calgary. Of course there's an airport over there, but somewhere on a hill, I see, like over there's another hill, and basically we're just doing reconnaissance to see, like, how do you get on that road? You know, there's a road there, but how do you get there? Oh, I think 80 Avenue. Okay, let's see if there's how do you enter over there? Oh, okay, see, you can go here. Okay, but it's all private property. Yeah, it says no trespassing. So basically this is all like airport property. So I thought I would go maybe one of those hills, but not, you cannot do that. So you see, like, there's a sign there, YYC, so this is the airport. But this would be cool. This is actually cool to watch, you know, airplanes. So that's downtown over there, and that's planes landing. I think, yeah, probably this is the best spot to, you know, if you're into airplane photography. Okay, let me just turn around over here before they arrest me and put me in Canadian jail. And so yeah, she never rented. I mean, her family never owned a place, and I think that's just crazy. So my area is being constantly developed, and we don't have yet any big stores nearby, like Canadian, Canadian Tire, Zayres, Loblaws, Walmart. There's nothing like that in my area, so it's been actively developed. So now I know, I think in the next few months we'll have a Shoppers Drug Mart, like a big pharmacy chain, right? A couple of banks are coming over there. So I know that for a fact, as soon as we have like a Walmart, if we have a Walmart there, that means that they do their research, right? And Walmart will never build a store without doing some kind of a reconnaissance first, right? So they only build their stores. I know that that's like one of real estate strategies, is if you want to make money, buy a new house in a new development, preferably where there's a Walmart being built, because as soon as a Walmart is built, it adds a huge value to the area. And on the other hand, Walmart is only, like I said, building their stores where they know there'll be a growth, so it's a great indicator that you are in a good area. And I'm pretty sure they're gonna build a Walmart there. And so you see all commercial land for sale. Like, there's so much land here. And so I think I will make good money with this apartment, I was joking. I was talking to my friend, I was joking. I said, you know what? If I wait a few years and the price, let's say, doubles or something, I don't know. I could just sell out and move somewhere where, there's no winter. I hate winter. But I'm not sure about Colombia, since I don't speak Spanish and it's a poor country. I don't know. She was saying Panama is good. She spent, I think first she went to Panama. She spent last winter, they were renting an apartment in Panama, and then she moved south to Colombia. And she says Panama was okay, but the problem is I like going to my gun club, right? I have some toys, as you guys know, right? So I cannot take them with me. I will have to sell them. Like, I know US is okay. US, I would have to get a special fill out special form online, and then you have to take, they say it can take like 3 months. Like, seriously, it can take from 1 month to 3 months to get the permission to enter US with legal firearms. Because I can go, let's say, as a tourist, or I can even go hunting. They allow Canadians to hunt in US, and they allow Americans to hunt in Canada. But you need a permission. I think you need some kind of an invitation from a like a gun club or something, or of course you need to have a hunting license, stuff like that, But it would be cool if I could make money on this. Actually, one other investment that paid off was the truck and the trailer, right? Because I was constantly upgrading. Of course, on the one hand, if I didn't change my truck and trailer, like like I had the Mack, right? A pretty decent truck, not the best, but it was okay. It was doing the job. And then I had the Fontaine trailer. But I always wanted to have something better, something where possibly I could make more money, right? So I traded in for a 60-ton, even though it was super difficult to get financing. Nobody would, because it's too specialized. That's what my leasing company told me, because they said, no, we only do 55-ton. If you want to do 55-ton, we'll give it to you right now, 0 down payment. Can you believe this? I said, wait, I just sold my 55 ton. Why would I want another 55 ton, you know? But of course I could have gotten something like with, you know, longer bed, a lower, maybe like drop side rail, you know, I don't know, something a bit different. But I wanted to try the crazy 60 ton with the Jeep with a booster, and so I kept investing into equipment, you know. So that paid off eventually, because then when this COVID happened, right, prices on steel and everything just jumped up, you know. And all of a sudden I see my truck that was, when I was buying it, it was like 235,000 Canadian, the price for the brand new one. It became like 260, 270, the same truck, like a heavy truck with 4 axles, right? And so I was able to sell it. What did I sell it for? 165? Because I was hoping for like 200, 210, 190, nothing. Nobody wanted to pay me that much. But still, I made money, because, you know, when you have a truck, you don't pay out of your own pocket, right? It's not like you're using your savings to pay for the truck. Your work, your loads pay for the truck. So pretty much the truck is free, right? And then eventually, that's kind of like another, by the way, I mentioned this before, like one guy told me, also I met like a Russian trucker, and he says, well, I want to buy one less truck before retirement, and he says that will be my kind of like forced savings. He says buy like a classic truck, because usually those are easy to sell, like a Peterbilt or Kenworth with a huge, you know, classic set forward axle. And then he says your work is giving you money for the payments, right? And then you drive it, let's say 2-3 years, and while the odometer is still low, you sell it, you know. And so that's your savings, right? So that's how truckers can make money. Basically, for this strategy to work, all you need is to make enough money to basically pay for your, you know, for your shelter, for your food, and for the truck and the trailer. And then you sell it and you keep all the money, right? Of course, after you pay off what you owe to the bank. And so that's actually worked for me, right? Except now I'm gonna be dealing this year with a huge tax bill, because I had to show the profit I made on the sale of the truck and the trailer, and that's what allowed me to buy the apartment. So I did okay. So even though, like I said, I made a lot of stupid decisions, but this, with the truck, the trailer worked, right? I made money, and the apartment, I think, was the super great investment. Even though it's not a house, it's not gonna appreciate like a house, right? Because I don't own the land. But, you know, for one guy, that's all I need. I don't have to cut the grass. I don't have to pay for expensive repairs. Because a friend of mine owns a house, and he says it's paid off, but he says over the years they probably had to invest like 100 grand. They had to redo the roof, then the furnace went bad, and something else. Oh, and then they had some kind of a big damage. They had a flood or something. They had to fix the basement. They had a leak in the basement, and so the house was required serious repairs, like 25 grand, you know. And I don't have to do that at my apartment, right? Even something happens, I have insurance, I'm protected. There's a big down payment, so I'm protected for that. I mean, not a down payment, but you know, there's like a big gap. That's why I had to get insurance, so in case some damage happens, like hail or something, and they say, hey, everybody has to chip in, and depending on your square footage, and if they tell me, let's say, I don't know, 10 grand, if I didn't have this insurance that I have now, I would have to come up with 10 grand out of my own pocket. But I bought insurance. I'm paying like 35 bucks a month. And that's another thing, with a house, your insurance is super expensive. It's like way more than what I'm paying. So I think I like this. I like this little apartment, especially since it's a direct exit to my car. you know, to my parking lot. Okay, so yeah, now we're gonna finish the video. I'm just basically going to for a lunch to this shawarma place, and that's it. And then I guess yeah, I didn't take the pictures, right? So then I'll just go home. And I usually, what I do after lunch is I play my accordion. And so here we have this little plaza with McDonald's, with a bunch of restaurants, a couple of banks, KFC, Vietnamese restaurant. But I don't know, I don't want to Vietnamese because all their food there is just too much bread, you know, and what they eat is basically noodles, like a soup with some noodles, you know. Stop signs everywhere, right? That was, remember I mentioned this, that was the first thing that surprised me when I moved to Canada. The first thing that surprised me was how many stop signs they have. Look at this, everything is, no spots here. Okay, maybe I should go to a different place. Now, one more thing, I totally forgot to talk about the forklift. So Monday, the Becker Brothers towing company was supposed to receive my package where I included detailed instructions, and I made up a bill of lading, and I put in a key, but it was delayed, and they only got it on Tuesday morning. This guy has been making circles here in his delivery truck, single axle day cab with tandem trailer. I'm guessing he has a delivery, and he was trying to find a spot where to park. Sorry, I had to move. Came back to my apartment, and so yeah. So Tuesday, the forklift guys received my package with everything, with the keys, right? And they said they sent me an email saying that everything is received and that they're gonna pick up the machine sometime after lunch. And my friend, the other broker, right, from Nisku, always tells me how he was impressed when I was a carrier, how good my communication skills were, right? Like most carriers, and it's been my experience after I became a freight agent, that most carriers are very bad at this. They never, you know, stay in touch with brokers or shippers or customers, so you never know what's going on. And so this particular load, where I acted as a shipper or customer, it was like amazing, you know, like in a bad way, right? So the last email they sent me, they said, okay, yeah, we're gonna pick up today sometime after lunch, and that's it. Then the communication channel closed up, communication ceased. So as far as I was concerned, the company went bankrupt and their truck caught fire, you know, stuff like that. And the only way for me to see or to suspect that the load is delivered is I got a text from my bank saying that my credit card was charged, you know, because, you know, when they were taking the order for the machine, the towing company, they asked me for my credit card number, and they charged it at, I think it was like 3:30 their time, so 1:30 here. And so they did deliver it to Bolton, Ontario, to Ritchie Brothers Auction, same one where I got the machine. And I sent them an email, and I was upset about this, since there's no communication at all, you know, like if this, and I said, I just sent them, you know, like a fair email. I said, if this was me, when I was an independent carrier, I would send you, if you were my customer, I would send you at least 4 emails. Arrived at shipper, loaded leaving shipper, arrived at consignee, and number 4, load is delivered. I did that with each and every load ever since I became independent in the fall of 2017. And now I see like there's really very few companies. Basically, I don't know any company that does it like the way I did it. That's how it should be, right? And so I told this guy, I said, if you don't send me a signed bill of lading, signed by the gatehouse at the auction, like, and I supplied bills of lading, right? Normally a carrier has to make them up. I made them up for them as a shipper, as a customer. And I said, if you don't send me a signed bill of lading, I'm gonna call my bank and I'm gonna declare this transaction fraudulent, since I have no clue if you delivered the machine or not. And so this morning I got a reply from one of the owners of Becker Brothers, and he said, we apologize for lack of communication, but on the other hand, we really don't appreciate it when you threaten us, you know, with this when we are moving your load, or we moved your load. No, he said, when you threaten us when we are in the process of moving your load. And so yeah, I sent him a message. I said, you know, I'm sorry, I didn't intend it to be so harsh. You know, I've been under a lot of stress with this machine, so my apologies, all is good. But yeah, it's like my experience has been like, these guys are good, right? So they know how to operate the wreckers, the big trucks, you know, they very skilled, you know. Never had an issue with one of the operators not knowing what they're doing. Well, maybe there was one guy, but he was just young. He just joined the company recently before that. But most guys are like, they're like magicians, you know, with these double cables they have there. It's like a crane, right? So they were so helpful when I was changing, you know, all these axles and moving Jeeps and boosters on when I had a 60-ton. So they're great. But before, I only used them for kind of like local on-site work, right? When I was waiting for them in my parking lot where I was parking the truck. And a couple of times they were late, no big deal. Once I asked him to send me a record. They sent me a tilt and load truck. See, a guy shows up with a trailer. I said, what are you doing? Oh, they told me you need to move something here. I said, no, move something with a wrecker, like with a crane. So he had to call the company, and basically it was just a misunderstanding. But now I see that these guys, you know, they changed their name from towing. Like, it was Becker Brothers Towing, now it's Becker Brothers Trucking, because they do trucking as well, and they have all kinds of trailers. But they really have to learn how to communicate with customers, because, you know, it makes people upset. Like, why do I want to pay you money if I have no clue if you picked up my machine, if everything was okay, if you delivered it, right? Oh, and by the way, this morning email, when the guy was upset with me, and he did include an attachment which was kind of like a form from Ritchie Brothers auction, like a gatehouse. There was a picture of my machine, and there was some text in there, and the logo of the Ritchie Brothers, and then there was a couple of boxes, and one of them was checked saying received. So, but again, I had to chew their butt to get this. Like, unbelievable, you know. So this is probably my second experience as a shipper, right? The first one when I hired that Indian company to move the forklift from Ritchie Brothers to the storage, right? And now we were moving it from the storage back to the auction. Actually, just now I called the storage place, and I said, everything went okay? And he says, yeah, they just asked us to open the gate. And he says, I never heard from them again. I have no idea, they just left. And so I said, okay, so I don't need that space anymore, please cancel my contract. Give him the spot number. Of course, he already knows me by voice. I said, yeah, this is Sergei from Calgary. I think I was paying like 135 a month Canadian, probably $100 US. but it was okay because I couldn't leave the forklift at the auction, you know. I had to move it. They only give you like 7 days after you make the payment. You only have 7 days to move the machine. You cannot leave it there. And I was hoping to sell it, right, but it never happened, unfortunately. So now the auction happens. The auction starts, I think, July 5th at 9 o'clock local Ontario time, and it ends July 8th, and it's what they call a timed online auction. It's not going to be a physical auction. It's all online, which is good for me because I know this way I can get a higher price, because people from anywhere in the world, as long as they're registered with Ritchie Brothers, they can bid on this machine, you know. They don't have to be there in person, right? So anyway, so now I think we're good. Now you're all up to date. Thanks for watching. Ciao.